All right, ready to dive into Think and Grow Rich.
Let's go.
We're tackling Napoleon Hill's classic today.
A classic for a reason.
It's packed with wisdom from giants like Edison and Ford.
Those guys knew a thing or two about success.
And this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme.
No magic lamps here.
This is about rewiring your mindset for achievement, whatever that looks like for you.
I like that. It's about the long game, right?
Absolutely. Building those mental muscles.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how Hill breaks down the success of these titans into actionable steps. It's like he's saying, hey, you can do this too. Here's the playbook.
Okay, no secret handshakes, just good old-fashioned mental elbow grease.
Love that. And he starts with burning desire.
Burning desire. Gotta have it.
Not just wishing on a star, but that can't eat, can't sleep, gotta make it happen, fire in your belly.
Speaking of fire in my belly, are you getting hungry?
Wait, already. We just started.
I could really go for a pizza right now.
Stay focused. Think of Edison and his 10,000 attempts at the light bulb.
Okay, point taken. Back to Edison.
That's what burning desire looks like.
10,000 attempts, though. Seriously, I'd have switched to gas lamps after attempt number 50.
Maybe, but not Edison. He had that vision, that drive.
He just wouldn't quit.
Exactly. And that brings us to Hill's next principle. Faith.
Faith. Like religious faith.
Not necessarily, not in the traditional sense anyway.
Okay, so what kind of faith are we talking about then?
Hill's talking about faith in yourself, faith in your vision, your potential. Programming your subconscious to believe so strongly in your goal that it sees it as inevitable.
So like, if I'm walking around saying, I'm going to ace this interview, my subconscious is less likely to whisper, you're going to trip on the way in and spill coffee on the hiring manager.
Precisely. It's about shifting that inner monologue.
From self-sabotage to self-belief.
Exactly. And that's where auto-suggestion comes in.
Auto-suggestion.
Now, this might sound a little out there.
A little.
But Hill was a big believer in talking to yourself.
Well, there goes my excuse when people catch me muttering to myself in the grocery store.
Out loud.
Out loud? You mean it's not enough to just think it?
Hill would say no. He argues that repeating your goals out loud actually programs your subconscious mind.
Interesting.
It's like writing the code for your own success story.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But let's say I've got all this positive self-talk down, but I don't know the first thing about, say, building a rocket to get to Mars.
You're talking about specialized knowledge.
That's where that comes in, right?
You're right. Knowing the nuts and bolts is important.
Especially with rocket science, I'd imagine.
But Hill makes a key distinction between specialized knowledge and imagination.
Okay, so knowing the stuff versus using it.
It's about the application of knowledge, the spark of creativity that truly creates value.
So you're saying it's not enough to just be a walking encyclopedia?
Exactly.
Got it.
Think of Charles Schwab.
Charles Schwab, like the investment company.
He was instrumental in building U.S. Steel.
Wow. Okay, so what did he know?
He wasn't an engineer or a finance whiz, surprisingly.
Was he a really good motivational speaker then? Because that's a skill set in itself.
Not quite. He was a manager with an incredible ability to inspire, to get people on board with his vision. His strength was understanding people and imagining how they could achieve something amazing together.
So it's like knowing all the ingredients for cake is one thing, but it takes imagination to bake it into something spectacular.
Yeah, you're getting it.
So where does this imagination come from? How do I get more of it?
Well, that's interesting. You know what Hill links this to? What he calls the sixth sense.
Wait, is Hill talking about ESP?
ESP.
Should I start carrying a crystal ball to important meetings?
Not quite ESP. Think of it more like those aha moments.
You mean when a solution just pops into your head out of nowhere?
Exactly. It's not magic. It's your subconscious mind doing its thing.
Okay, so less crystal ball, more mental clarity. I can get behind that.
Exactly.
But let's be real, there are always obstacles.
Roadblock.
These pesky things just pop up and try to derail our plans.
Oh, you mean the 6 ghosts of fear?
6 ghosts of fear. Sounds spooky.
Hill dedicated a whole chapter to these dream crushers.
Dream crushers, that's a good way to put it.
Fear of poverty, of criticism, of ill health. The list goes on.
Yeah, we all have those lurking in the back of our mind.
We all have them.
So how do we bust those ghosts? How do we send them packing?
Hill's advice: don't just hide from them. Name them. Understand them. And then, and this is key, actively choose to focus on the opposite.
So instead of fearing failure, I should visualize success.
Right.
Picture myself rocking that presentation, closing that deal, launching that rocket to Mars.
Exactly. Replace those fear-based thoughts with empowering ones.
Easier said than done, though, right? It's easy to say, Don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah.
It's a whole other beat when you're staring down a challenge that seems impossible. Like, how do you even begin to wrap your head around that?
That's where the story of Henry Ford comes in. Talk about someone who started with absolutely nothing.
Okay, Henry Ford. From farm boy to automobile revolutionary. Let's hear how he went from tinkering in a shed to building an empire.
Ford had this unshakable belief in his vision. He faced setback after setback.
I bet. People probably thought he was crazy.
Financial struggles, people telling him it couldn't be done.
And he didn't even have much formal education, right?
Right.
Imagine that in today's world.
Right. But the point is, he didn't let any of it stop him. He didn't let those doubts win.
So how'd he do it?
Well, he was a master of this autosuggestion we were talking about, always visualizing his success. Plus, he had this knack for gathering talented people around him.
The power of a good team. Like, you might have the best recipe in the world, but you need a good sous chef to help you handle the pressure of a busy kitchen.
Precisely. Ford knew he couldn't do it alone.
Who could?
He needed what Hill calls a mastermind group.
Mastermind. Is that like a superpowered brain trust?
You could say that. It's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people, people who share your passion, who believe in your vision.
And it doesn't have to be people in your exact field, right? I mean, sometimes the best ideas come from unexpected places.
That's what I'm saying. It's about embracing different approaches, different perspectives. It's like that saying, 2 heads are better than 1.
More brains, better ideas. Need a fresh marketing strategy for your bakery. Chat with the musician friend. You never know what might spark that next big thing.
Exactly. It's about leveraging collective intelligence. Now, Hill also talks about turning weaknesses into strengths.
Oh, that's a good one. We all have those areas for improvement on our resumes.
Like what?
Like, proficient in interpretive dance isn't exactly going to land me a job as a software engineer.
Probably not.
But maybe it helps me explain complex code concepts in a more engaging way. Who knows?
There you go. You're getting it. Hill actually tells this story about a young boy who lost his hearing.
Oh no, how?
Some terrible accident. The doctors, they said there was no hope.
Oh, that's awful. What happened?
But his father, he refused to accept it.
Okay, now I'm invested.
Yeah.
Tell me this kid got his hearing back.
Driven by love and this fierce determination, the father instilled in his son the belief that he could still experience sound. And guess what?
He got his hearing back.
Through sheer willpower, it said that the boy's hearing gradually returned.
No way. Talk about the power of belief. But it wasn't just wishful thinking, right?
Oh, absolutely not. The boy, he went on to become a successful hearing aid salesman.
Wow. Talk about turning a negative into a positive.
His personal experience allowed him to connect with his customers in a way that nobody else could.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that our biggest challenges can lead to our greatest strengths.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, speaking of adapting, Hill also stresses the importance of emotions, understanding them, harnessing them.
Okay, this is where I usually check out. Emotions. They're messy, unpredictable. Can't we just stick to logic and to-do lists?
I get it, but Hill would say that emotions are the fuel that drives us. He even dedicates a whole chapter to this concept of sexual transmutation.
Whoa. Hold on. Is this podcast taking an unexpected turn? Should I be reaching for the parental advisory warning label?
No, it's not what you think.
Okay, good.
Hill's talking about channeling that intensity, that energy, into creative pursuits, ambitious goals.
Basically less distractions and more goal crushing.
You could say that. He believed that understanding our emotions, controlling our emotions, even ones as powerful as sexual desire, well, he believed it was essential for achieving success in any area of life.
I find emotions are our friends, not our enemies.
Exactly.
But how do we work with them instead of letting them run the show?
It's about finding outlets, constructive outlets, of course, creative expression, physical activity, maybe channeling them into your work.
That makes sense. I definitely get more done when I'm genuinely excited about a project. It's like the difference between eating plain oatmeal for breakfast and like a stack of fluffy pancakes.
I see what you mean.
One is fuel, but the other, that's inspiration. Inspiration on a plate.
Exactly. Speaking of inspiration, that brings us to another critical point that Hill emphasizes: persistence.
Persistence, like not giving up.
Exactly. It's not enough to have a dream and a plan. You need the tenacity to see it through, even when the going gets tough.
So channeling my inner Fannie Hurst. Right. She collected 36 rejection slips before her writing career took off.
Precisely. Hill uses her story and many others to really drive home this point: the importance of persistence. of never giving up on your dreams.
Persistence. It's a state of mind.
It really is, and it's cultivated through practice and self-discipline.
So when that little voice in my head starts whispering, maybe it's time to give up, I need to crank up the volume on my motivational playlist.
Exactly. Persistence is the key to turning those initial setbacks into stepping stones on the path to success.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty fired up over here. But we've covered a lot of ground. Burning desire, faith, autosuggestion, turning weaknesses into strengths, harnessing our emotions, and now, persistence. Is there anything else we need for our Think and Grow Rich toolkit?
You're forgetting one crucial element: definiteness of purpose.
Definiteness of purpose, huh? Sounds intriguing.
Hill calls it the starting point of all achievement.
Okay, let's break that down. What exactly does he mean by definiteness of purpose?
It's about having a crystal clear vision, a vision of what you want to achieve, not just, I want to be successful.
Right, because what does that even mean?
Exactly, but a clear definition of what success looks like for you.
So less, I want to be rich and famous, and more, I want to open a cozy bookstore cafe by the beach where I can host author readings and serve the best chai lattes in town.
Now you're talking. The more specific your vision, the more powerful it becomes. Hill argued that a definite purpose, when combined with that burning desire we talked about, it acts like a magnet, drawing in the resources, the opportunities, the people you need to make it happen.
Okay, I can see how that would work. But what about those moments when doubt creeps in? You know those times when you start second-guessing yourself?
Self-doubt. It gets us all.
Wondering if we're on the right track.
That's where the power of decision-making comes in.
Decision-making. How so?
Hill, he was adamant about this. Making a decision.
And
sticking to it.
no waffling.
No waffling.
So ditch the endless pros and cons list. Just make a choice and go for it.
Exactly. He believed that indecision, it's a major roadblock. It zaps your energy, it creates confusion, and it prevents you from taking action.
Okay, makes sense. So to recap, be decisive, cultivate that persistence, believe in your vision, build a supportive mastermind group, harness those emotions, turn weaknesses into strengths, and have that laser-like focus, that definiteness of purpose. Anything else?
One more thing,
Hit me with it.
and it's a big one. The power of the subconscious mind.
Okay, is this where things get a little matrixy? Are we talking about bending spoons with our thoughts?
Not quite, but he was onto something. He believed that the subconscious mind, it's incredibly powerful. It's like a bridge.
A bridge.
A bridge between our conscious desires and their physical manifestation.
Okay, so if I'm constantly thinking about my goals, picturing my success, feeding my mind with those positive affirmations, it's more likely to help me achieve those goals in real life.
Exactly. Our subconscious mind. It's a powerful ally in achieving our dreams. But we need to learn how to communicate with it.
Right. So less spoon bending, more like subconscious coaching.
Exactly.
Got it. But how do we do that? Is there some secret handshake I don't know about?
Hill suggested things like autosuggestion, visualization, repetition to really imprint those desires onto the subconscious. He also stressed the importance of emotions.
Emotions again.
The subconscious mind, you see, it responds to feelings more than logic.
So it's about aligning our conscious goals with our subconscious beliefs and our emotions.
Yeah, you're getting it.
It's like throwing a party.
Yeah.
Your conscious mind, it sets the date, sends out the invitations, but your subconscious mind, it brings the energy, it brings the excitement.
Exactly. It's about creating that synergy between your conscious and subconscious mind. Now, you might be wondering,
Is this Think and Grow Rich thing really just about money? Because honestly, while a life of yachts and private islands sounds fun, it's not exactly what gets me out of bed in the morning.
that's a great question. And you're right, while the title might seem very focused on financial wealth, Hill's principles, they really apply to any area of life where you're looking to achieve, well, success and fulfillment.
So it's more like think and grow, whatever lights your fire, whether that's starting a business, writing a novel, becoming a world-class athlete, or finally organizing your sock drawer.
Exactly. It's about understanding the power of your own mind, the power it has to shape your reality, whatever that reality might be. Hill provides the tools, but you get to choose the blueprint.
I love that. But before we wrap up our deep dive into Hill's 13 Steps to Success, from burning desire to the power of the subconscious mind, there's one thing I'm curious about. Where does helping others fit into all of this? Is it just about individual achievement, or is there a bigger picture?
That's a great question. And it's something Hill addresses. He believed that true success, lasting success, it involves making a positive contribution to the world.
So it's not just about what you can get, but what you can give.
Precisely.
Right, because what's the point of having a beautifully organized sock drawer if you can't share it with the world? Okay, maybe a bad example,
Yeah.
but you get the idea.
I do, I do. And, it's interesting when you look at the individuals Hill studied, like Henry Ford, their success, it wasn't just about amassing a fortune. It was about revolutionizing an industry, creating jobs, leaving a lasting impact.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? At the end of the day, Think and Grow Rich, it isn't a guarantee of a life without challenges,
Yeah.
but it's a powerful reminder, I think, that we have more control than we realize. We have the power to choose our goals, shape our beliefs, and build a life, really, that feels meaningful.
Well said. Hill gives us the roadmap, the tools, the inspiration, but it's up to each of us to take that first step
It's about the journey, right?
in the destination.
That's so true. It's about enjoying the ride, even when the road gets a little bumpy, and maybe packing snacks. Because even the most ambitious dreamers, we need a good snack break every now and then.
Absolutely. And maybe a good mastermind group to share those snacks with.
Now you're speaking my language. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. Until next time, remember, the power to create the life you want is within you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with a blank page and a burning desire to write a best-selling novel, or maybe just organize my sock drawer, see what my subconscious decides.